Hello students, how are you all? In last class you learned preparation properties, uses of oxygen and preparation properties, uses of ozone, and you learned oxides. The today's topic is sulfur. In that the first topic is allotropic forms of sulfur. Allotropic forms. So, the allotropy is defined as the existence of an element in two or more different forms is called as allotropy. Allotropy is nothing but the existence of an element in two or more forms. In two or more different forms is called as allotropy. Sulfur forms numerous allotropic forms. Sulfur forms numerous allotropic forms. Among them, there are two important. They are the first one is rhombic sulfur and the second one is monoclinic sulfur. The first one is rhombic sulfur. The first one is rhombic sulfur and the second one is monoclinic sulfur. The second one is monoclinic sulfur. So, sulfur forms numerous allotropic forms. Among them, the important are rhombic sulfur and monoclinic sulfur. Now, let us discuss one by one in detail. Among them, the first one is rhombic sulfur. That first point, it has a yellow color. It has yellow color. It has yellow color. And the rhombic sulfur is prepared by evaporating a solution of roll sulfur in CS2. It is prepared by or it is obtained by, it is prepared by evaporating, it is prepared by evaporating solution of roll sulfur in a CS2, carbon disulfide, solution of roll sulfur in carbon disulfide. So, evaporating the solution of roll sulfur in CS2 will get a rhombic sulfur. Another important point is the rhombic sulfur is also called as alpha sulfur. It is also called as alpha sulfur. Rhombic sulfur also called as alpha sulfur. Next, its melting point. Its melting point is 385.8 Kelvin. The melting point of rhombic sulfur is 385.8 Kelvin. And another important point, this point is very important, it is stable below 369 Kelvin. It is stable below 369 Kelvin. Above this temperature, it converting into monoclinic sulfur. So, here the rhombic sulfur is stable below 369 Kelvin. This point is very, very important. Next, it has, and one more important point, it is insoluble in water. It is insoluble in water and soluble in CS2. So, rhombic sulfur is insoluble in water but soluble in carbon disulfide. And another important point is it has S8 ring. The structure has a S8 ring and the shape of the molecule is crown shaped. It has that means rhombic sulfur has this molecule has S8 ring and a crown shape. Now let us draw the structure of rhombic sulfur. Structure. It has a S8 ring and a crown shape. So I am drawing the structure of rhombic sulfur. So, this is a structure of rhombic sulfur. The bond angle is 107 degrees and the bond length is 204 picometers. The bond angle is 107 degrees. The bond length is 204 picometers. So it has a 204 picometers. It has cone shape. So this is a rhombic sulfur. And the second one is a monoclinic sulfur. Monoclinic sulfur. The monoclinic sulfur is also called as a beta sulfur. It is also called as a beta sulfur. In that first point, it is insoluble in water. It is insoluble in water and soluble in CS2. So it is insoluble in water and soluble in CS2. The next point is its melting points. Its melting point is 393 Kelvin. The melting point of monoclinic sulfur is 393 Kelvin. And another important point is it is stable above 369 Kelvin. Very, very important point. This point, it is stable above 369 Kelvin. So below this temperature, it converting into rhombic sulfur. So rhombic sulfur is stable below 369 Kelvin, and it is stable above 369 Kelvin. It is stable below 369 Kelvin. It is stable above 369 Kelvin. At 369 Kelvin, both forms, rhombic sulfur and monoclinic sulfur, both are stable. This temperature is called as a transition temperature. So what is my point is, I am taking first monoclinic sulfur. Monoclinic sulfur stable above 369 Kelvin and transforms into rhombic sulfur below this temperature, below 369 Kelvin, below this temperature. And another important point is rhombic sulfur stable below 369 Kelvin and transforms into monoclinic sulfur. Transforms into monoclinic sulfur above 369 Kelvin. So this first point, the monoclinic sulfur stable above 369. So temperature below 369, that converting into rhombic sulfur. So transforms into rhombic sulfur below 369, and rhombic sulfur is stable below 369 Kelvin and transforms into monoclinic sulfur above this temperature. At 369 Kelvin, both forms are stable. This temperature is called as a transition temperature. Very, very, very important point. At 369 Kelvin, both rhombic sulfur and monoclinic sulfur, both rhombic sulfur and monoclinic sulfur are stable. This temperature is known as, or it's called as a transition temperature. This temperature is known as a transition temperature. So this is information into the monoclinic sulfur, nothing but alpha sulfur. So rhombic sulfur, monoclinic sulfur, these two are the most important allotropic forms of sulfur. Next, S6 form. This is the third one, S6 form. In cyclo S6 form, the ring adapts chair form. In cyclo S6, the ring adapts chair form. The ring adapts chair form. Let us draw the S6 form. Structure of S6 form. So this is a cyclo S6 form, cyclo S6. In this case, the bond length is 205.7 picometers and the bond angle is 20.2 degrees. Next, this is the third one. The fourth one is S2 form. S2 form. In S2 form, the S2 is paramagnetic in nature like O2 due to presence of two unpaired electrons in antibonding 5-star orbital. It is paramagnetic nature. Paramagnetic in nature due to presence of two unpaired electrons. Two unpaired electrons in antibonding 5-star orbitals. 5-star orbitals. Even you can take oxygen molecule. Oxygen molecule also has a paramagnetic nature, and due to presence of two unpaired electrons in the antibonding 5-star orbital. So this is a S2 form. These are the allotropy forms of sulfur. Next, sulfur dioxide, SO2. In that first preparation of sulfur dioxide. Preparation. In that first one, SO2 is formed when sulfur is burnt in air or oxygen. SO2 is formed when sulfur is burnt in air or oxygen. So sulfur trioxide also is formed when sulfur is burnt in air. Sulfur dioxide formed and sulfur trioxide also is formed. Then S plus O2 gives rise to SO2. So this is a solid gas and SO2 is a gas. This is the first one. The second one is it is prepared by treating sulfide with dilute sulfuric acid. By treating a sulfite with dilute sulfuric acid. By treating dilute sulfuric acid. Equation, let us write equation SO3 minus 2. This is an aqueous solution. So SO3 minus is sulfite ion plus 2H plus. This is from sulfuric acid in aqueous. Gives rise to SO2 gas plus H2O liquid. So this is a second one. The third one is it is produced as a byproduct of roasting sulfide ores. It is produced as a byproduct of the roasting of sulfide ores. Let's take example of FeS2. I'm taking FeS2. This one roasting with oxygen gives rise to sulfur dioxide plus Fe2O3. Fe2O3. We have to balance it. This I am taking Fe2 in the sense I am taking 4 FeS2. This is 2 Fe2O3. So here is sulfurs. 4 2s are 8 sulfurs. 8 SO2. So 8 plus here is 6 oxygens. 6 plus 6 plus 16. So we'll get 22. Then we're going to get 11 O2. So this is the preparation of sulfur dioxide. This is the preparation of sulfur dioxide. Next properties. In that first one is physical properties. Physical properties of sulfur dioxide. In that first one, it is a colorless gas. It is a colorless gas. And another important point is it is soluble. It is soluble in water. It is soluble in highly soluble in water. It is highly soluble in water. And another important point is it has pungent smell. It has a pungent smell. And another important point is it liquefies at room temperature under 2 atmosphere pressure. It liquefies at room temperature under 2 atmosphere pressure, and it boils at 263 Kelvin. It boils at 263 Kelvin. So these are some physical properties of sulfur dioxide. Next, chemical properties of sulfur dioxide. Chemical properties. Chemical properties of sulfur dioxide. In that first chemical property, sulfur dioxide when passed through the water forms a solution of sulfurous acid. Sulfur dioxide when passed through water, sulfur dioxide when passed through water forms a solution of sulfurous acid. Forms solution of sulfurous acid. That is the right equation. Sulfur dioxide SO2 plus water H2O liquid gives rise to H2SO3. H2SO3 in aqueous solution. So H2SO is nothing but sulfurous acid. This is the first one. The second one is a reaction with sodium hydroxide, NaOH. This is the second one. Reaction with sodium hydroxide. Sulfur dioxide react with sodium hydroxide, NaOH, forms Na2SO3 plus water. Na2SO3 plus water. Sodium sulfite. Then we have to balance it. Here is 2 sodium is there, 2 NaOH. So sulfurs are balanced, oxygens are also balanced. 3 plus 1, 4 here. So 2 plus 2, 4. Hydrogens are also balanced. Next, what is Na2SO3 formed? That further react with sulfur dioxide. So what is the product we got? Na2SO3. This further react with sulfur dioxide will produce sodium hydrogen sulfite. So I am taking Na2SO3 react with SO2 further, gives rise to NaHSO3. This is 2 times, here is 2 sodium, so that 2 NaHSO3. This equation is balanced. What the product we got is sodium hydrogen sulfide. Sodium hydrogen sulfite is the product, final product formed in this reaction. It is sodium hydrogen, sodium sulfide. This one is sodium sulfide. The first step sodium sulfate is formed. The sodium sulfate further react with sulfur dioxide produce sodium hydrogen sulfite. So this is the second reaction. Third one is the reaction with chlorine. Reaction with chlorine. Sulfur dioxide react with chlorine in presence of chloral produces sulfuryl chloride. So, sulfur dioxide SO2 plus Cl2. SO2 plus Cl2 gives rise to SO2 Cl2. SO2 plus Cl2 gives rise to SO2 Cl2 in presence of chloral. In presence of chloral, the product is sulfuryl chloride. Sulfuryl chloride. So sulfur dioxide react with the chlorine in presence of chloral. The product is sulfuryl chloride. And the next one is in presence SO2 is converting into SO3 in presence of V2O5. SO2 plus O2 gives rise to SO3, sulfur trioxide. In presence of catalyst vanadium pentaoxide, V2O5 as a catalyst. So SO2 is oxidizes to SO3 in presence of V2O5. Here is SO2 is a gas, O2 is a gas, and SO3 is also a gas. So we have to balance it 2 SO2 and this is 2 SO3. So SO2 is oxidized to SO3 in presence of V2O5 with oxygen. And the next moist sulfur dioxide, moist SO2 behaves as a strong reducing agent. Behaves as a strong reducing agent. So let's look at the reactions. That first one is it converts iron 3 ion to iron 2 ion. It converts to iron 3 ion to iron 2 ion. Let us look at the reaction. I am taking iron 3, Fe plus 3. Fe plus 3 plus sulfur dioxide, SO2 plus H2O gives rise to converting into Fe plus 2 plus SO4 minus 2 plus we get H plus. Then we have to balance it. I am taking this is 2 times this I am taking 2H2O, this is 4H plus. 4H plus, this is 2 Fe plus 2. Look at this reaction. Fe plus 2, oxidation number here is iron 3 ion to iron 2 ion. Oxidation number is plus 3 here. Oxidation number is plus 3. Plus 3 converting into plus 2. So decreasing oxidation number we have to call it as a reduction, isn't it? Here sulfur dioxide is plus 4. Here sulfur is in sulfur dioxide sulfur is plus 4. Here is SO4 minus 2, oxidation number of sulfur is plus 6. So plus 4 to plus 6, increasing oxidation number is nothing but what? Oxidation. It is oxidation. So sulfur is undergoing oxidation and make the other substances a reduction, so that it is a reducing agent. So sulfur dioxide is a reducing agent because itself undergo oxidation, make the other substances a reduction. It is a reducing agent. Now another one is it decolorises potassium permanganate solution. It decolorises acidified KMnO4 potassium permanganate solution. It decolorises acidified potassium permanganate solution. Now let us look at the equation. SO2 plus KMnO4, I am taking the form of MnO4 minus plus H2O gives rise to. Then the product is MnO4 converting into Mn plus 2 plus SO2 converting into SO4 minus 2 plus H plus. So So these are the products are formed. Then we have to balance it. Here I am taking a 5SO2. Then this is a 5SO4 minus 2. Here I am taking 2MnO4 minus. This will become 2Mn plus 2. Next to H2, I am taking a 2H2O. This is 2H2O. 2 2s are 4. This is a 4H plus. So this is the equation for a reaction of SO4 with KMnO4. In this case also Mn is plus 2. Sorry, Mn is plus 7. Mn is plus 7. The plus 7 converting into plus 2. Plus 7 to plus 2 number is decrease. Decrease number is nothing but what we have to call as a reduction. It is SO2 is how much? Plus 4. The plus 4 converting into SO4 minus 2. This is a plus 6. So plus 4 to plus 6 in the sense nothing but oxidation. This is oxidation. So sulfur dioxide is undergo oxidation converting into SO4 minus 2. Sulfur dioxide is undergoing oxidation. Sulfur is undergoing oxidation. Here Mn converting into Mn plus 2 converting into Mn plus 2 reduction. So the sulfur dioxide itself undergoing oxidation. This is undergoing oxidation, making other substance is reduction. So sulfur dioxide making MnO4 minus 2 reduction. So the substance itself undergo oxidation, make the other substance reduction is called as a reducing agent. So moist SO2, moist sulfur dioxide behaves as a strong reducing agent. So these are the chemical properties of sulfur dioxide. Next, structure. Structure of SO2. It has a angular shape. S double bond O, oxygen. It has a angular shape. And this bond will be moved to here, they will get one more structure. So both are interconvertible. Then, so it is a resonance hybrid of two non-canonical forms. It is a resonance hybrid of two canonical forms. And it has angular shape. It has angular shape. The shape of the SO2 molecule is angular, and it is a resonance hybrid of two canonical forms. So this is one structure, this structure converting into this one. If this bond will move here, we'll get this one. Both are interconvertible. So these are the resonance hybrid of two canonical forms. Next, uses. In that SO2 is used in that first one in refining petroleum and sugar. It is used in refining petroleum and sugar. The next one is in bleaching wool and silk. In bleaching wool and silk, we will use sulfur dioxide. Next, it is used in anti-chlor. Used in anti-chlor, disinfectant, and preservative. Next, it is used in the manufacturing of chemicals like H2SO4, sodium hydrogen sulfide. It is used in manufacture of H2SO4, NaHSO3, etc. It is in the manufacture of H2SO4, NaHSO3, etc. Next, it is used as a solvent. Liquid SO2 is used as a solvent. Next, it is used as a liquid SO2 is used as a solvent. So liquid SO2 is used as a solvent to dissolve number of organic and inorganic chemicals. To dissolve number of organic and inorganic chemicals. Organic and inorganic chemicals. These are the uses of sulfur dioxide. Next, oxo acids of sulfur. Sulfur form a number of oxo acids. For example, I am taking H2SO3. H2SO3. This is a sulfurous acid. Next, I am taking H2SO4. This is a sulfuric acid. And the third one is H2S2O7. This is pyrosulfuric acid. And the fourth one is H2S2O8. This is a peroxodisulfuric acid. Now let's draw the structures of these compounds. First I am taking H2SO3. Sulfur, it has one lone pair, double bond OH and OH. So this is structure of H2SO3, sulfurous acid. Next to H2SO4 structure. S double bond OH, and this is another OH. So this is the structure of H2SO4. Next to H2S2O7, pyrosulfuric acid. S double bond H2S2O7, double bond OH, So this is the structure of H2S2O7. Next H2S2O8, S double bond OH, S double bond OH. This is a structure of H2S2O8, peroxide disulfuric acid. This is the structure of H2SO3. This is the structure of H2SO4. So these are some important oxo acids of sulfur: sulfurous acid, sulfuric acid, pyrosulfuric acid, peroxide disulfuric acid, and their structures. Next, sulfuric acid. So sulfuric acid, manufacturing of sulfuric acid by contact process is not there in syllabus. The manufacturing of sulfuric acid by contact process is not there in your PUC syllabus right now. So that I am directly discussing the properties of sulfuric acid. So properties in that, first one is physical properties, second one is chemical properties. The first one, properties. In that first one, physical properties. The physical properties are point number one. Sulfuric acid is a colorless, dense, oily liquid. It is a colorless, dense, oily liquid. It is a colorless, dense, oily liquid. The next point is it boils at 611 Kelvin. Its boiling point. It boils at 611 Kelvin. Its boiling point is 611 Kelvin, and its freezing point is 283 Kelvin. It freezes at 283 Kelvin. freezes at 283 Kelvin, and it dissolves in water. It dissolves in water. It dissolves in water. So these are the some physical properties of sulfuric acid. Next, chemical properties. Chemical properties. Chemical properties. In that first one, in aqueous solution, the sulfuric acid ionizes in two steps. In aqueous solution, H2SO4. In aqueous solution, sulfuric acid ionizes in two steps. Ionizes in two steps. In that first one is H2SO4 in aqueous plus H2O liquid gives rise to, and the product is H3O plus hydronium ion in aqueous plus HSO4 minus. This is in also in aqueous. For this case, Ka1 dissociation, Ka1 is very large, is greater than 10. For this reaction, for this case, first ionization step, the Ka1 is very large, Ka1 is greater than 10. And what is the product we got is HSO4 minus. HSO4 minus in aqueous solution, H2O water, H2O liquid. This HSO4 loss this proton converting into SO4 minus 2, then the H2 converting into H3O plus hydronium. This H plus is taken by this water, then H3O plus in aqueous solution plus SO4 minus 2. It is also in aqueous. This is the second step. And I am labeling as a dissociation constant 2. K is the dissociation constant. Here is a 1.2 into 10 power minus 2. So Ka2 is 1.2 into 10 power minus 2. Here the large Ka value. The large Ka value indicates that the sulfuric acid is a strong acid. It is a strong acid because it undergoes dissociation completely. Then second one is the sulfuric acid is a low volatility. So because of its low volatility property, the sulfuric acid is used in the manufacturing of high volatile acids. Sulfuric acid is a low volatile acid. By using this sulfuric acid, we can prepare high volatile acids from their corresponding salts. For example, I am taking MX. MX, it is a salt. H2SO4. H2SO4. So this is a low volatile. MX is we are preparing sulfuric. We are preparing high volatile acids by using a low volatile acid. So MX plus H2SO4 gives rise to M2SO4. M2SO4 plus HX. We will get 2HX. This is 2MX. So this is low volatile. It has a low sulfuric acid is a low volatile liquid. What is the HX? We are getting this HX is a high volatile liquid. So high volatile acids are preparing from low volatile acid. So here X is equal to, we can take fluorine, chlorine, NO3, etc. So this is another property. Next, concentrated sulfuric acid is a strong dehydrating agent. Concentrated sulfuric acid is a strong dehydrating agent. So dehydrating agent sense it will remove the water or moisture from the organic compound. To remove the water from the organic compounds, we can use concentrated sulfuric acid. The concentrated sulfuric acid is a strong dehydrating agent. It will remove moisture or water. Then let us look at its charring action on carbohydrates. Charring action on carbohydrates. Charring action on carbohydrates. I am taking sucrose C12H22O11. C12H22O11 plus concentrated sulfuric acid. concentrated sulfuric acid. Then the product is 12 carbons is there, you will get 12C. So 12C plus these hydrogens and oxygens element in the form of removes in the form of water. So how many oxygens? 11. You will get 11 O2, 11 H2O. So these 12 hydrogen oxygens removes in the form of water. So it is concentrated sulfuric acid, a strong oxidizing agent. Next, hot concentrated sulfuric acid is a moderately strong oxidizing agent. Hot and concentrated sulfuric acid is a moderately strong oxidizing agent. Let's look at some reactions. I'm taking a copper Cu plus H2SO4. Cu plus H2SO4. Here sulfuric acid converting into SO2. Then the product is CuSO4 plus SO2. CuSO4 plus SO2 plus 2H2O plus 2H2O. Here is a copper. Here I am taking H2SO4 2 moles. This is concentrated. So Cu converting into CuSO4 and H2SO4 converting into SO2 and forms 2 moles of water. Next, reaction with non-metals. I am taking carbon plus H2SO4. This is the reaction with metal. Copper is a metal. I am taking here is a non-metal carbon. CuSO4. So copper plus H2SO4 concentrated. Then the product is carbon converting into carbon dioxide. Carbon converting into carbon dioxide plus H2SO4 converting into sulfur dioxide. SO2 plus water H2O. Then we have to balance it. Here is 2 moles of sulfuric acid. We are going to get 2 SO2 plus water is 2 moles. 2 moles. Next, reaction with sulfur. S plus H2SO4. This I am taking 2 moles. That too, this is concentrated. Gives rise to SO2 plus H2O. It is 2 sulfurs. 2 plus 1 3 sulfurs plus this is 2 H2O. So these are the some oxidizing reactions of sulfuric acid. So here is a sulfuric acid converting into all the cases SO2. All the cases the product is SO2. Sulfuric acid converting into SO2. So hot concentrated sulfuric acid is moderately strong oxidizing agent. So these are the chemical properties of sulfuric acid. Next, uses of sulfuric acid. In that first one, it is used in that first refining of petroleum. Refining of petroleum. It is used in refining of petroleum. The second one is it is used in manufacture of it is used in manufacture of paints and pigments. It is in the manufacture of paints and pigments. Next, it is used in detergent industry. Detergent industry. It is used in detergent industry. Next, it is used in storage batteries. Storage batteries. It is used in storage batteries. Next, it is used as a laboratory reagent. Laboratory reagent. It is used as a laboratory reagent. Next, it is used in the manufacture of fertilizers. It is used in the manufacture of fertilizers. Used in the manufacture of fertilizers. Example, you can take ammonium sulfate. Ammonium sulfate. So these are the some uses of sulfuric acid.